Oh my God.
Lying. And I'm just embarrassed because I chose this person to marry.
Maybe it was a little vindictive, but I don't regret it.
Me. No, the sun is behind the
No, I'll put the backpack on.
It's fine,
No,
it's fine.
I'm not going to continue. Give me the backpack.
I don't want to do that, but I'm just tired, just we're walking.
No,
It's
this is what I'm talking about. This is ridiculous.
fine. I'm just tired.
Okay, well, guess what? You're a baby.
Was anyone else cringing at the entirety of this episode? Ari was determined to have this closeness with Bini, and it completely backfired. If anything, I think it exemplified his grievances with her needing to control every situation. I mean, no one wants to cuddle a drill sergeant. Bini is making it clear that he needs freedom, and Ari is making it clear that if she could have him in a cage, she would. It is so obvious this relationship is beyond saving, or at least beyond a 3-week therapy stint. There is so much to discuss. Let's get into it. Hi guys, welcome back to Nikki Faces Reality. We are here to discuss 90 Day Fiancé The Last Resort. We are in season 2, episode 2. And this particular video will be about Bini and Ari. Whew, boy oh boy. We're going to jump straight into the latest. As always, before we do, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you're new here, like and comment. Thank you to my subscribers for being here. And yeah, as we've discussed in the last episode, Ari kicked Bini out of the room because he just didn't want to talk about the cheating allegations, which at this point, it's looking murky, but he was adamant that in order for them to have any conversation, he needed his social media back. She wasn't having it. She kicked him out. The next morning, I'm pretty sure a producer tipped off one of the counselors, and the counselor drops by because she's like, hey, I would love to talk with you both before our first group therapy activity. Ari, of course, has to be like, Bini's not here. Let me call him up. He shows up, and he he knows better than to shake her hand this time, but he walks in and he's like, hi. Like, she's a complete stranger. And I think that is just so loud about where they are in their relationship. Like, he doesn't even want to touch her. She is smiling through her teeth because she wants to fight back so bad, but she's trying to hold it. And it's hilarious that the counselor is like, yeah, these couples, they're starting off really rough. They don't know how to communicate. No shit. The counselor is like, okay, so tell me a little bit of where you are. And Bini's like, I feel like I don't have rights. I want my rights back. I want my freedom. I feel like I'm in a cage. And I just think that is a crazy thing to say, but also a crazy thing to feel. Like, when you are in this partnership, you have no rights. That is problematic AF. They keep panning to Ari's constipated face. She looks constipated because she's so angry at this. I feel like I've been saying this in every video. Cheating is not something that many people can get past. I cannot get past it. I'm not going to pretend that I can. But even cheaters still deserve rights. If you were taking the extra step to forgive them, they still need their autonomy. Autonomy is huge for me. The minute I feel like you are taking that away from me, we're done. Don't get me wrong. I understand that it is frustrating to feel like, damn, he cares more about the social media thing than how to move forward in our relationship. But I think that it's not just what you want anymore. Do I think that her needs should be prioritized in a way because she was the one betrayed? Absolutely. But I still feel like we need to hear more about what actually happened before I dig deep into that. My theory is that they were separated and then he made the mistake of posting the person that he was with, and then Ari was embarrassed and she was like, well, we're still married even though they were separated. That's my theory. Is he above cheating? Absolutely not. All that to say though, if you're gonna hold my livelihood, if you're gonna hold something that I hold dear to me and you're gonna dangle it in my face, I wouldn't hug you either. You are not someone that I want to be next to. And so Ari expands that she had his social media information because she was his former manager, and that when she discovered that he was talking to people, that she decided to change all of the passwords. And she's like, maybe it was petty, but I have no regrets. Here's the thing. You don't get to F over someone professionally because your personal life is failing. The two should not be combined. I get the petty instinct, but that in itself is an abuse of power. He flat out says, I feel like she's trying to blackmail me. I just want my freedom. And again, you guys, the optics of this are not great. Ari, you are a white lady on this couch raising a biracial child, do those words not make your skin crawl? Do those words not make you be like, if I feel like I need to be this in this relationship, I don't want to be this, I need to remove myself? Because that is not how I would want anyone to talk about me. But the real gag of this is that Ari would not be with this man if she hadn't gotten knocked up. The counselor is like, do you guys want this to work? And Ari's like, yes and no, like depends on the day. And the woman is like, so why, like, have you ever thought of getting off? Like just like leaving it behind? And she's like, well, I did. Remember, she left for Ethiopia for 4 months. And the follow-up question is, did you moving away, did it help your relationship? No, it made it worse. Well, then you didn't do that for the relationship. You did it for you. And that's perfectly fine, but don't make selfish decisions and still say you want to be in this relationship. Same goes for Bini. But as I was saying earlier, you guys, I don't have kids, so I can't speak through that lens. But just in general, cheating is hard to overcome. Not many people can do it. Very few people can get past cheating and grow into like the next phase of their relationship. Most of us, like Ari, will see signs of infidelity in everything our partner does. You honestly become like a mad woman. I've forgiven one person for cheating, and I hated who I became. I honestly became my worst version. It felt like a manic episode for the remainder of the relationship. I'm not even kidding you guys. You start reading into like their breathing. You start reading into how they answer your text messages, how they answer your calls, who they're seeing. Like honestly, the emotional and mental labor that you do because you're so uneasy, I don't wish that on anyone. And I understand that people are more willing to stay in these situations when they have young children. But damn, it's not for the weak. Ultimately, the counselor is looking at them and she's like, you guys say you want to be together. You're not acting like you want to be together. Let's do this. Let's not discuss social media for a day during this activity. And like really commit to being intentional. They have like a weird, awkward handshake, and Bini is receptive to this feedback, but his heart is not into it. You could see it in their physicality as well. Like there's room for like Jesus in between them. And I'm realizing as I'm discussing the show that a lot of people haven't kept up with their story. And I'm gonna tell you this, you guys. This relationship was in shambles long before Bini's infidelity. Ari has been a terror for some time. Also, they had like some issues like with the family dynamic between his sisters and her, and then like I don't know, just like the little microaggressions that her mom would have towards Bini. Like it's complicated. It's a complicated pot. But anyway, for the group activity, they get driven into like the desert, and the assignment is to find rocks and write down what you want to work on. And basically they have to like walk a mile and get to like a particular pit stop, and they discuss what their rock says. Ari's rock says affection. Bini's rock, I believe it says respect. They pair the couples off. So Ari and Bini are paired off with Stacy and Florian. So they're walking, they're talking, and Ari's like, yeah, like I just, wish that you wouldn't recoil when I like try to hold your hand. And Bini's like, And Stacy, I feel like Stacy and Darcy always do this. They love to just climb on their partners. They really like to play on the fact that they're like this small. So Stacy is tired from doing like half a mile, and she like jumps on Florian. And they're being cute, they're being playful because the focus isn't on them. Ari is mid-conversation. She turns and sees that they're doing, and she's like that, babe, like that. Can we do that? And Benny's like, oh, yeah, no, I'm tired. And she's like, no, like, babe, like, see, like, that's what I want to do. Like, can you do that for me? It's so... I get that affection is important. No one wants to feel rejected by their partner. You want that closeness. You want to connect. But there is nothing worse than connecting when you don't want to. She is seeing his body language. She has called out the fact that he recoils, that he doesn't want it. She's called out all of those things, and it's still like, I want to do this. Can we do it? And it gets worse. Bini eventually gives in, And she climbed on him in the most...
I weigh like 50 kilos. You can handle, I'm sideways.
No,
If
no,
you're
no, no,
sideways,
no.
that's okay.
Because it's not genuine. She wants him to like perform for her. You said you want it. Cool it, let it happen. Bini said he's tired, but she's like, no, babe, like can you do that for me? And she gets on him. And here's the thing, Bini works out for a living. I don't think he's tired. I just don't think he wants to do this. But still, she climbs on him in the most unsexiest fashion. Like, it's not a good time. Like, all of it looks uncomfortable, okay? Mind you, everyone has rocks in their backpack. So when she climbs on him, the rock that he has in his bag that's massive, it's poking at him. So he's like, before I like pinch a nerve because you want to ride me, can you please like get off? And he's like, my back hurts basically. And she's like, oh, well, we'll just fix it. We'll take it off. And he's like, no, 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 it's fine. It's fine. And she's like, no, I will take it off. I don't want to move forward until we do this. This is what I mean about her being a drill sergeant. Like, that's not consensual. He's doing this against his will. Like, what about that seems good for you? What about that seems earned for you? And I keep wanting to repeat, like, I understand that it's important. I understand that, like, feeling affection from your partner is important, and to have that rejection is a deep wound. I want to make it clear that I understand that I understand that that rejection does have a way of affecting how you see yourself. But also, having someone that you don't want to touch you is a huge violation. It's not pleasant. And overall, this whole experience is painful. And so after Bini is like, I can't, she, of course, turns on the tears. And of course, Stacy loves a moment where she can console. And she's just like, I'm so embarrassed that I chose this man. This is how he treats me. And it's just like, I don't see how he's the villain in this moment. She's like, it's been a hard 5 years, and I don't doubt that. But I don't think you were innocent in that. I don't think these 5 years happened to you. And so as she's crying to Stacy, Bini walks off with Florian, and he's like, this is typical. He seems so unfazed by her tears, and that's not a good place to be. I'm the bad guy because she wants me to touch her by force. Every time she wants something, it has to be forced. Florian and Stacy are playing this role of like mom and dad where like they're all knowing, and it's like, no one wants to take love advice from you guys. Like, your marriage is in shambles as well. But in his one-on-one, Bini says, Ari is acting this way because she knows that I am an affectionate person. I am someone that likes to like cuddle, hold hands, kiss. My heart and mind like aren't connected. Like, I can't pretend. And I feel like that makes the situation even more violent to me. Because on the other end of that, if I know that my partner is a certain way and they're not being that with me, there's something here. Like, I've done something. That's not always the case, but I think that this relationship is loaded. And when Ari talks about her wrongs, she's like, yeah, well, anyway. And it's like, no, no, no. Unpack that. There's a reason why he doesn't want to have that intimacy with you, even like surface level. And just the way that she talks about it is like, I want a partner that's willing to work at it. But Ari, like, you don't want his input. And that's not gonna work unless both of your inputs are valued. But it gets weirder because then they get to their pit stop where they have to discuss the rocks. And she's like, affection. And she's like, okay, so we're gonna hold each other's hands and look into each other's eyes. And I'm pretty sure that was not on the paper. That was not on the assignment. She's just making up prompts and talking to him like he's a kindergartner that she has to walk through step by step. And she's like, yeah, so hold my hand. And he's like, for how long? The way that would make me just disappear. Because this man doesn't even want to like touch me. He's like, okay, 30 seconds, okay. They're holding hands. She's getting emotional because this is probably the most that he's wanted to touch her in like months, right? And he's like, okay. Like, he's like trying to like tell her like, okay, we're done. But he's still holding her hand. And he's like, okay, yeah, okay. And eventually he's like, okay. And she's obviously complaining about like the fact that he won't even hold her hand for very long. But it's like, this is what he feels comfortable doing. And like, that's a hard pill to swallow. But that's a hurdle that y'all have to work through as a couple if you care to. But obviously, whatever he's allowed is not good enough for her. So he's like, can you show me like what you want? And then she like sits next to him. And again, it is painful. She sits next to him and she like holds his arm and he's just like there, like a log. And she's like, so tell me about your rock. Like you said you want to respect. And he's like, yeah, I would like for you to not yell at me. I would like you to continue to talk to me in a soft manner, to not force things when I say that I don't want to do something. And that was her cue to be like, oh, well, that's a jab. And she gets up. She doesn't say that, but that was like the physicality of it. She gets up and she's like, okay, so like take out your rock like a good kindergartner. And so do you think that you can leave it here? Do you think that we've worked through it? And he's like, yeah, like I feel fine. I feel heard. And he drops it. And then with her, she's like, well, I don't feel like we've made strides on mine. And he's like, okay, great. Then like carry it. And in their couple's confessional, she believes that he is withholding intimacy as a way to punish her. I don't think that's it. I honestly feel like he is not attracted to her in this moment. We have definitely seen examples of people punishing with affection. I don't think that's it. Do I think he'd be more inclined to like attempt in doing the nookie with her if she gave him the passwords? Probably, but I don't think his heart would be in it. And his heart will not be in it until they have some like serious restorative action up in this relationship. I think from social media, it's safe to say that they are not together, but I feel like it's hard to tell with these two. We will definitely be keeping up with them. Please let me know your thoughts. I know that we could be a little divided on this. I look forward to reading all of your comments on this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.